Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
That has fooled everybody, but he simply cannot fool me. Elon Musk. He could possibly be the false prophet who presents the mark of the beast to the world and presents the Antichrist on the world stage. I mean, that's how evil I think he is. There's a good chance that the Antichrist is walking and breathing on this planet as we speak, which that means that the false prophet that comes along with the Antichrist is alive. So why do I think it's Elon Musk? He's not done anything he said he did. He's not a scientist. He's not a propulsion engineer. He don't make electric cars. He pays people to do it for him. He's one of the greatest scammers that humanity's ever seen. But I think he's actually a step further than just a con artist. I think he's evil embodied. And I can say that with confidence. Elon Musk is inventing chips that go in people's brains. And I'm telling you, that is the behavior to look for when you're talking about the Antichrist. There's going to be a mark in everybody's head, and there's going to be a mark in it or on their hand, okay? That's what they call the mark of the beast. And I'm telling you, Elon Musk, if he hasn't invented the mark of the beast yet, he is laying the groundwork for the Antichrist to take that mark of the beast and implement it on all humans. And I'm telling you, that's beyond a con artist. That is evil embodied. To lie to somebody to the degree that you can tell them, hey, put this chip in your brain and I'll help you. And he's going to convince millions of people to put that chip in their brain. And I'm telling you right now, he sounds like the false prophet, and the false prophet is going to present the Antichrist. If you type in Neuralink in Greek Beta Gematria, it's numerical value 666. I don't care who sold it to him or this or that.
I don't think that Elon Musk is the Antichrist. I don't think that the Antichrist would be out here telling people to have more kids or the world's going to collapse. He'd be preaching the exact opposite. I think Elon Musk is trying to help humanity. I just think that, like anyone, he has some good ideas and some bad ones.
It's a bit scary. No wonder Elon Musk gave this video an exclamation mark. This is footage from a coffee shop using AI to monitor its employees.
Y'all need to listen, though.
Blue text with white letters indicates each employee, and the number shows how many cups of coffee they've made. You can see that an employee named Anna is working diligently, making a total of 20 cups. Meanwhile, Olga is hiding in the corner, slacking off, and has only made 3 cups. All of this is tracked by the AI, which then reports the findings to the boss. In Amazon warehouses, similar technology is used to monitor employees. They even allow AI to generate termination notices for workers with low productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Before long, everything around us, from cars to ships to our daily lives, will fall under AI surveillance. Everything will be tracked, monitored, calculated, and analyzed. If you're wondering what AI is really capable of, well, this is your answer.
Man, you ain't going to be able to get away with nothing in the future. It said that the AI will generate a termination notice if you have a drop in productivity. You won't even be able to have a bad day, it sounds like. Hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at barry-stepp.com.
If you got time, watch this.
Also, let's talk about this whole alien thing. Now, with all of the information that's been coming out over the last, 15, 20 years pretty much, most of you, if you truly are chosen, have felt it in your heart, and you have absorbed some of that information into your heart, into your soul, because the Almighty has allowed you to understand that there is a lot of truth there, okay? Now you have to remember, there's a lot of guys on TikTok out here who are telling you right now that those who are coming are not actually aliens. Well, I've been saying that for years also. Here's what they are. They're the spirits of the Nephilim, the displaced spirits of the Nephilim, the giants, the titans, right? The demigods of the pre-flood era. That's who these demons are. Now, if they indeed have found a way to live in these little alien flesh suits, or they're possessing people, or whatever the case may freaking be, it doesn't matter, because we serve the Most High. And if we're going to spend all of our time just being concerned over every light that we see in the sky, when the Almighty tells us himself that they're going to be throwing sky signs and wonders in the skies, then we're going to be missing the point. Yes, we're supposed to be paying attention. Yes, we're supposed to be aware of the situation so that we don't get caught off guard. But being too aware can also mislead you. You understand? Focus on the Most High. Focus on the will of the Master, of Yeshua. What does he want you to do today? I'm supposed to get up, honor him, say my prayers, study, soak his word, into my core.
To expand on this theory, from what I've heard, supposedly these Nephilim are obtaining bodies through government-run cloning operations in these deep underground military bases. I don't believe that, but that's the theory.
Looking at the Ukraine conflict, there would be a need for large-scale combat formations in the future. But I don't think that's credible, because if you look at Ukraine, if you look at China, any military involvement involving the United States military would not require large formations of infantry. I mean, you would need the Air Force for bombing. You'd be using Marine Expeditionary Forces if they were there to defend Taiwan against an invasion. You would need large-scale army combat formations. So I think what the real agenda here is that they want to create the foundation where there is this massive recruitment of hundreds of thousands or millions of young men to fight against a contrived threat. And I think that contrived threat would be aliens, extraterrestrials that are wholly contrived, that they wouldn't be genuinely from outer space. They would be these clones that have been manufactured in deep underground military bases. That's one of the things that I have found again and again in my research, is that for over 50 years now, cloning technology has been developed to a very high degree, and so in these classified programs, in these dumb facilities, they're able to manufacture clone armies of what would look like aliens. And so these could be released from these underground facilities anywhere in America, overrun a city, and all of a sudden the need is there for large-scale mobilization to defend America from an alien threat. But that alien threat would not really be from outer space. It would be coming from these deep underground military bases, using these cloned alien beings. Some people call them program life forms.
Well, there's an interesting new theory. I guess we'll see if this one comes true if we start seeing little green men running around everywhere. This could explain, though, why they have tons of food with an expiration date being shipped into these deep underground military bases. Maybe they ain't storing it. Maybe they're feeding all the clones.
Richard Constantine.
He knew that with this model, reinforced by working geometrical logic, he could deceive the minds of millions into believing that this small section of the world was the entirety of a world in and of itself.
Even if that were true, how the hell would they be able to sell such a lie?
Thought you'd never ask. See, Richard was maniacal. His family loved his idea of entrapping the soon-to-be population, but they too asked him the obvious question, how can we be sure they'll obey? At which point, with an emotionless expression, Richard said to them, give me absolute control over what's taught to the minds within these walls, and they will look to the heavens before they consider what's behind the ice.
Good God.
See, Richard was the godfather of psychological manipulation. Spent the following years creating the blueprint for a new reality, our reality. The great curriculum of confinement, or what we know as geography, Newton's laws of physics, etc. A structured narrative of logical principles that would be taught to every generation within the wall. But he knew that wasn't enough. He knew how the subconscious mind worked as well, so he created sigils of circularity, symbols of a sphere, globes, circular maps, even our circular language of time itself, were embedded in every cultural artifact. He knew not all humans were brainiacs.
So who is this guy who had control over every aspect of learning for every person in existence? Even if this were true, it just sounds too far-fetched. I know they manipulate us with our curriculum, but this just sounds made up.
Now you hear about the humanized mice that are part human, or salmon that are part grasshopper that grow twice as fast and kill all the real normal salmon. And just, folks, Tucker talks about aliens and absolutely stuff going on. The globalists are making aliens by mixing humans and other animals and insects and plants, and then they put them, they gestate them and use cow uteruses to grow them. This is going on everywhere. So there's like a breakaway whole civilization that's separate from us that the globalists have, with life extension technologies and cures to cancer and Parkinson's. But instead of giving us all the cures. They're keeping that for themselves, and they're just getting ready to wipe all us out, so we don't even have access to that, whether you think of it as moral or not. But they even had, people didn't believe me when I talked about it when I was reading the documents, because we weren't on TV then. I'm reading this on air, and people are thinking that they weren't all getting MIT quarterly. Then MIT, about 7 years ago, look this up, humanoid hybrid chimeras are gestating at facilities across the United States. And it goes on to say, part pig, part human, part cow, part human, so that they won't be rejected by the cows that are growing them. They then harvest the organs, they harvest the stem cells, and they've got facilities now with thousands of cows per facility with humanoids growing in them. And this is in the literature, and they don't like me because I go, here's the literature, but they won't let you on the basis. And let me tell you, with the spider goats 25 years ago, I call up one of the places in New York where they've got goats that are part spider, okay? And their milk makes body armor. And I get the head guy, a private contractor at the Pentagon. He's happy. Like, he comes on. 2 days later, he calls back. He goes, "The Pentagon's really mad. They didn't even tell me it was classified. They're going to kill me if you don't take down that interview." Okay? So you're hearing all this. Look up spider goats. 30-year-old stuff. Okay? All of this. So as good as I tell you stuff is, it's also bad because there's a breakaway civilization that's really in like the year 2045, according to their estimates. They've already got way more advanced AI, everything else. But they can't get full control of the human population yet, because in an hour, if we wanted to tear up all the equipment and the AI systems and shut it down, we could. It's not that it's bad in of itself. It's how it's being deployed against us. That's why they've got to get rid of the farms and the ranches and the gardens and people knowing how to build things and do things. They've got to make us obsolete first, and then they're going to release the real bioweapons that kill the majority of people. That's why COVID was just a drill, and they admit it was, to get us locked down. So when they release the real bioweapon, you just stay at home and die like you're supposed to. But we're not going to do it. And if they release the big bioweapon, we know who to go after, Bill Gates. We'll get you in your bunker. And Zuckerberg will bring you to justice legally and lawfully through the court system.
Well, you've completely freaked me out. I gotta say.
I feel like it'd probably be a good idea for some of these hosts to start looking at Alex Jones's talking points before they just hand him a microphone like that. This may turn out to be another Alex Jones clip that ages gracefully, but this is the same stuff he was warning us was coming 20 years ago, and ain't none of it happened yet.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Thomas Jefferson once warned that banking establishments were far more dangerous than any standing army? Wouldn't it be crazy if in 1886, America enshrined the 14th Amendment, which pretty much gave personhood to corporations, which has had long-standing repercussions on the American economy? Wouldn't it be crazy if J.P. Morgan wanted to establish a centralized banking system in America, but was opposed by many rivals, all of whom died on the Titanic, by the way? I'm sure a lot of you know that. And then wouldn't it be crazy if in 1913, the Federal Reserve was established in America, and shortly after that, World War I broke out? Shocker. And wouldn't it be crazy if in 1933, the American government went bankrupt again for the third time and signed an agreement with central bankers to essentially turn every American citizen into a government bond, which, yes, is just basically slavery with extra steps. And then I guess it'd be really crazy if in 1971, America removed itself from the gold standard, creating fiat money, a fiat money system, which is essentially ensuring a society will stay in debt perpetually. You know, it also created the petrodollar, which has allowed America to download its inflation across the world. It's very complex. Yeah. And wouldn't it be crazy if Omar Gaddafi turned Libya from the poorest nation in Africa to the richest with zero debt, 143 tons of gold reserves, and he wanted to form a United States of Africa with its own gold-backed dollar? Wow, that would have been a big threat to American banking systems, wouldn't it? We all know what happened to Gaddafi and what just happened to Syria. Wow. And what they want to do to the rest. And wouldn't it be crazy if the 2008 mortgage crisis was essentially the largest heist ever committed in human history, and literally no one went to jail for that? No one paid any price for that. We bailed out the banks, and we're living in the aftermath of that here in 2024. And wouldn't it be crazy if I just suggested that America's pretty much just like just one big bank, and all these wars are happening because of banks. I guess that'd be kind of crazy.
And what's really crazy is that America, with all of its flaws, is still the best country to live in. That's my opinion, of course, but I say that to make a point. America is supposed to be, in a lot of people's eyes, the best we have to offer. And look at all the evil crap that we subject our own citizens and the rest of the world to. That, to me, is crazy.
115, and hold steady. All right. It didn't blow up yet.
Oh, by the way, meet the aerial film crew. I just thought this was a cool shot.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting shocked right now.
This time I just used the electroscope as a quick voltage check.
Woo! Now that's a few thousand volts right there.
Alright, let's see if there's enough current to make this Franklin bell work. Oh, dude! Freaking working, buddy! Yeah! It's a really cool process. The aerial wire places a positive charge on this can, which then influences the foil ball to deliver electrons from the grounded can, which is directly connected to Earth. The clouds finally opened up, so I connected up the corona motor. Like before, one side was connected to ground, while the other was attached to the aerial wire. And after just a few seconds, hey, she's spinning! This is just remarkable. It never really spun that fast, but I just sat and enjoyed the miracle. I mean, I quite literally was siphoning energy straight from the atmosphere. This motor was operating off of several kilovolts, which you could actually hear if you stopped the motor and brought your finger near the aerial wire. That's the sound of coronal discharge. Oh. Not long after, the wind started picking up, so we packed up.
That's awesome. I feel like this is probably the biggest suppressed technology that was ever erased from history. All because they want to charge us for an electric bill.
You think garlic is healthy? You think broccoli are healthy? You think cauliflower is healthy? You are wrong. All of these foods are toxic for you. They were made in laboratories. That's why Dr. Sebi warned us about them. Listen to what Dr. Sebi's son said about these foods.
Broccoli, that's the thing we're supposed to stay away. Never going to find broccoli in a jungle. Cauliflower either. Cauliflower is white because it's not a carbo. It's a bunch of different things in the United States. Stay away from seedless watermelon. So you give seedless orange to somebody with diabetes, later you test his sugar level is going to be high. So you give it a sour orange, the sugar level is going to be normal. Because seedless fruit or GMO food is not can balance the sugar. It's high in sugar. So
there's a reason why our people are sick. It's not because of the exercise, it's because of the diet changes. When 90% of our diet is pork, potato chips, and fake fruit and vegetables, it's hard to stay healthy.
I did some digging on this guy's claim, and while broccoli and cauliflower are actually man-made, they were made through centuries of crossbreeding. They weren't made in some lab somewhere. I have a feeling that this guy's some sort of a snake oil salesman.
Come down a little rabbit trail with me. So many people have no idea how important the Tower of Babel is and what it means. The all-seeing eye is the unfinished Tower of Babel mentioned in the Bible. George Washington was a renowned Mason. And on the back of our $1 bill is M-A-S-O-N with the all-seeing eye. But you might ask, Ryan, why is that important? Let me show you this. The Washington Monument built in his honor is the tallest of its kind in the world. It is 555 feet high. Well, 555 feet times 12 inches is 6,660 inches. But you might ask, why is that important? I really hate to be the one to tell you this if you don't already know that. Nimrod was the one who built the Tower of Babel to go and try to defeat God. Well, Nimrod has 70 different names, whether that's Osiris or Apollo. Anyways, his birthday is December 25th, which is why we celebrate Christmas on December 25th. He's known for having a long beard, reindeer, and a Christmas tree. The Christmas tree represents Nimrod's penis, as it is the only part of his body not found. His wife started the tree tradition and hung balls on it. The garland is wrapped around it to signify a snake. The 5-pointed star at the top represents a pentagram. The whole thing is one big satanic celebration. The people of Babylon would make a wish for Moloch, and then they would place their babies to be burned alive into the arms of Moloch. And they believed that by offering up their babies to this god on December 25th, they would receive everything they had requested on their wish list in the year to come. The image of Moloch was a giant statue made of iron. Underneath this image was an umid, and it was stoked with wood until it became bright red. The image resembled today's modern day Satan Claus or Santa Claus, and people are still offering up their children to Moloch. But Ryan, why is that important and why should we care? Well, in Zechariah chapter 5, it tells us why. And this is the curse that goes forth over the face of the whole earth. An angel asked Zechariah, "What do you see?" And he says, "This is an ephah." And I know an ephah is a unit of measurement that holds 10 omers, but that is the lead unit that holds, what does that look like, y'all? And where do these ephahs bear? And he says, to build a house in the land of Shinar. Where is Shinar? Nimrod was described as the king in the land of Shinar. That is in Iraq. Y'all, everything is connected. Everything has a meaning. And I need you to try to wake up as many people as you possibly can.
I find it fascinating to see the origins of our traditions, even if they are possibly from something like this. However, I feel like this doesn't really matter. Enough people have taken over the Christmas holiday with the celebration of Jesus that it's become that now. People start out bad and change all the time. I see traditions the same way. A lot of them have dark origins, but that's not the reason we continue to celebrate them.
Some people think God created the universe. Some people think nothing created the universe, which is the funniest guess. And the nothing people make fun of the God people. They say God doesn't exist. I'm like, okay, maybe. But you know what definitely doesn't exist? Nothing. That's the defining characteristic of nothing, is that it doesn't exist. So what are we talking about? Either you think it's God, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove, or you think it's nothing, something you can't see, touch, taste, photograph, and science can't prove. But I think we can all agree, if your nothing sometimes spontaneously erupts into everything, that's a pretty magical nothing, you guys. And ask the nothing people, what happens when you die? They'll tell you, nothing. You go into nothing. I'm like, you mean you merge back with your creator?
And that's our good clip of the day. I just thought I would poke fun at myself a bit. I'm a believer of nothing, I suppose, but I do see the logic in his joke there. Kind of makes me think. Maybe my disbelief takes a little bit more belief than I realized. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back on Monday with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my merch store at berry-stepp.com. And don't forget to drop a photo of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow.